Well, good morning upon you. Thursday, Friday Eve makes the weekend seem closer, guaranteed. January 23rd at 5:47 in the morning here in western Iowa, where it's frigid cold. Temperatures in the single digits again this morning, and wind chills below zero. We'll start to warm up as we head towards the weekend. So will the south. The snow will be melting. And really good news for Southern California, desert Southwest, Four Corners. Looks like we have a storm coming, but our weather spotlight is our eye in the sky, the visible satellite here. This was posted on Facebook by a friend of mine who works at the Dodge City National Weather Service office. And this shows the snow from Houston all the way through Louisiana, along the Gulf Coast, all the way to the Florida Panhandle, and then up through Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Just an epic snowstorm. Really not seen since 1895. The 1895 event had the heavier snow further west, more towards Houston. And so Houston didn't break any records, but you get into, Mobile, Alabama, into the Florida Panhandle, shattering all-time records for snow amounts. And again, not seen since 1895. So what is this, 130-year event? Something like that. Is my math right on that? Anyway, let's check out the hazards this morning across the country. Yeah, it's freezing cold in Florida, southern Georgia, with our freeze warnings there, and even a freeze watch a little further south, still north of Tampa. But it's cold. Now, you don't see that across the rest of the South because they've already killed all the vegetation. So anyway, Southern California still dealing with fires, still dealing with fire danger, red flag warnings here. And again, good news coming in a couple days. Up in Montana, blizzard warning on the eastern slopes of the Rockies up there, and also some winter storm, winter weather advisories for eastern Montana into Wyoming, and a little bit of Great Lakes snow in Michigan with some winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories there. Here's your snow depth across the country. Really bizarre to see more snow in Louisiana than Iowa and Nebraska. It's kind of crazy. And then it's even more snow. Look at half of Georgia covered with some snow this morning. Now, the amounts are lesser because we melted some snow yesterday. We're going to melt more today. And it's frigid out there this morning. So even you get some snow melt, and yes, the roads do dry out some. But there's still going to be slick spots across the south this morning with lows in the 20s all the way down towards Houston. Louisiana, teens and 20s. Mississippi, teens and 20s. Alabama, teens and 20s. Georgia, teens and 20s. Same for South Carolina. 23 right now in Tallahassee. So where there's snow on the ground, very cold this morning. Again, we'll be warming up as we get into the weekend. Meanwhile, up here in Iowa, we had a cold front last night and a little bit I think we got a dusting. Sun will be up here in a little bit. And single digits this morning in Iowa. Much warmer than it was yesterday, or colder than it was this time yesterday. We're 15, 20 degrees below what it was 24 hours ago, and even more so up in Minnesota. But warming up in the Midwest and the Ohio Valley into the east. A little bit cooler mid-Atlantic, but a little bit warmer in the south, and that's going to be the trend as we go through time. Surface for today, there's that cold front through the northern plains, Midwest into the Great Lakes. Some light snow around the lakes, but as we saw on our hazards, heavier snow for Michigan. This is also showing some heavy snow there in upstate New York. Lake Erie is almost froze over, so your lake effect snow is going to be a lot less as those lakes continue to freeze. And a little bit of rain down there in Florida. Surface for tomorrow, we're going to start to see a warm front moving into the plains, warming up. And that cold air that moved through Iowa last night is going to be shifting to the east. And we see some light snow, basically Rockies, northern tier of the United States, and then dipping down into West Virginia, even to the mountains of North Carolina. 48-hour precipitation. Some rain down there in Florida, not a lot, but a little bit. Maybe down to South Padre in Texas. The rest of this is snow for the next 2 days. And again, keep in mind, accompanied with winds, in Montana. with our blizzard warning, but snow in the northern Rockies, and then some snow off the Great Lakes, some real light amounts along the Canadian border. Excuse me again. As we get into Saturday, here's the great news. This is fantastic. We're looking at chance of rain for Southern California, and even some rain or snow as you head up into elevation. Snow for Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming. Looks like it on the light side, but this is great. Reversing the fortunes with the fire danger in Southern California, and the Four Corners now getting a chance at some snow. And we're going to see some rain on top of that snow, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, into Arkansas and Oklahoma. And so let's show our work here on the GFS this morning, starting out with some light snow in the Great Lakes. Cold air is still entrenched all the way through central Texas and across the south. And as we go through time today, not a lot going on weather-wise. We just see cold air, that cold air that went through the Midwest last night all the way down into Texas. So things staying a little bit chilly. So snow will melt a little bit today. Highs in the 40s in the south. I checked out New Orleans, 40s today, and then 50s Friday, Saturday, and 60s on Sunday. So we're seeing that warm up coming as we get, this is Saturday, or getting into Saturday. Some light snow here, but mostly a warm up in the south as we get into the weekend. That's what those red lines mean. And we're starting to see some cold air now in the west, and some snow up here. It's very light, but into the Rockies and into Nevada even. And then we're going to see, more development here in the west. This is midnight Saturday getting into Sunday morning. And look at that glorious rain and low elevation snows for Southern California. We're seeing more rain here in Texas into the southeast. Maybe some thunderstorms even as we get into later in the day Sunday. But even light rain in Los Angeles right now would be welcome, and that's low elevation snow for Southern California. So that cold air heading on the western side of things, and this low forming in the southwest will make a difference there, bringing some snow to even parts of Nevada, into Arizona, as we're getting into Monday now. And so this is really good news here, this low. I'm still seeing some lake effect snow here as we get into early Tuesday now, and snow for the mountains of Arizona into New Mexico. A little bit of light rain here and a little bit of snow still in the northern, I'd say upper Midwest. Little disturbance riding through the Great Lakes, a little clipper system. As we get into midnight Tuesday, early Wednesday, more rain for the south. Your snow's long gone now. Maybe a snowman or two if it's in the shade and protected from the rain, but I think even the snowman population is going to be wiped out as we get into next week. So, and then as we go through time, we see more heavy rain along the Gulf Coast. And this is Friday, January 31st. Could it be snow in Texas again? Excuse me. Doubt it. I mean, I shouldn't say doubt it, because we've already seen what's happened. But this is a ways away. It's a little more than a week away. So we'll keep an eye on that with the system maybe in Texas. A little bit more snow here. The day before I move to northern Texas, maybe some snow, and the day after my birthday. So that'd be nice if I move in with some snow on the ground. And as I'm actually driving to Texas from Iowa, as we get into February 1st, I'll be leaving about this time. And I'll be heading this route. So unfortunately can't take the cross trek through snow, it looks like, but we'll see. So fortune's changing, especially for Southern California and for the Southwest. 6 to 10 day temperatures, that's where we see the cool off in the Southwest and West Coast. This takes us through the 1st of February, and warmer in the Southeast and much warmer Northern Plains and Midwest, hanging on to the coolness in the Northeast. We go further out in time, the 8 to 10, or 8 to 14. It's very warm across the plains, across the Southeast, across the Mid-Atlantic, hanging on to the cold Northwest and Northeast, and a little bit extreme Southwest, and a pocket of warm centered around Nevada. 6 to 10 day precipitation. Yeah, parts of the Four Corners through the south into the mid-Atlantic, and then dry west into the central northern plains and Midwest, including Iowa. 8 to 14, we see more chances of precipitation along the Canadian border, especially the Pacific Northwest, getting back into some raininess and snow for the mountains. And it looks pretty wet here for the southeast too, into the mid-Atlantic and northeast. So that's the big story to me, I think, is getting rid of that fire danger in Southern California with a system that's forming late in the week and into the weekend. So certainly good news. And your snowman population getting wiped out in the south. But it sure was fun while it lasted. All right, that's my report for Friday Eve, January 23rd, and I'm sticking with it. And we'll do it again tomorrow. Thanks for watching The Weather Mike.